Yo, Mixed by Gabriel. How y'all doing? So today I thought it would be a great idea to open up a template that I literally made for artists earlier this week and just kind of walk you guys through how your template should look and just like an easy way to understand the flow of using it. So essentially from top, we're going to go from top to bottom. Top, right, you have your master, right? What all that means is everything's going to go to that. At the end, like everything leads to that master, right? Under it, typically put the beat. You can also arrange this however what makes sense to you. This just makes more sense to me, like the arrangement of where I put things. But essentially, you put the beat here, right? And I'm just gonna literally act like I'm, starting a session template, like technically. So we'll just like bring in someone's beat. By the way, this is a dope producer named Flo, and he's on thirdeyesound.com, so you can go grab those. Okay? So if you did that, first thing you would do after bringing in the beat is turn it down. Okay? You want to turn it down realistically. It depends on how loud the beat is, but I like to kind of go off a meter. You can use this WLM meter and just play it. Cool. So I want it a little bit louder just because typically with modern music, you want things to hit a little bit loud and you want to not have to limit the whole mix a lot. So I'm probably going to go for like 13, 14. Boom. Okay, cool. So that's what I would do right when you start, is gain stage the beat and make sure that it's hitting around 12. You can see in the notes too, whenever you grab templates from me or classes from me, you get resources, and a lot of times I give you the whole layout, so there's no questions on how to use it, right? It literally says right here, get your beat to hit around -12 to -15 LUFS. All these simple guidelines I'm giving you is the exact same way I treat label independent artists. Doesn't matter. This is the quickest way to get from a demo to a good sounding record. Just follow these steps, follow the guidelines. If you have any questions, mixedbygabriel@gmail.com or go to my website, etc. Right? So once you have the beat, you can start recording, right? So this is where you record. Typically speaking, you want to have one record track. It just makes things a lot easier and simpler when you only have one track that's just for the tracking aspect. Under that, you pretty much have everything else laid out that you could possibly want. Everything is streamlined, like I said, and very straightforward, meaning things are titled and color-coded, right? So you got the hook, the first hook, the second hook, verse 1 and 2, background vocals down here, ad-libs, etc. Typically, I have the backgrounds going to a background bus where I put a doubler on it to make it sound spread out and different from the leads. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We are just trying to make a streamlined method of making good sounding stuff that we can send to a real engineer, So, essentially, you would track like thus. If you were to record, I'm just going to give you an example of what a recording would look like, right? These are recorded vocals, right? Boom. This is the hook. Down to the hook. Now when you play that, it's going to go to the vocal bus. What that means is your vocal will now sound crispy and dope just by putting it down here, because Gabe made the template sound amazing for you. Therefore, once you run it through here, it'll sound great. We got a little bit of, pop vocal multiband going on. We got some boosting of the high end at 5K as well. So you really got everything you need for just some good stuff out the gate. Little bit of control, on the actual track. Obviously the auto tune is on there for that good Young Thug vibe. But we have a plethora of different templates, and we also do custom templates. So pretty much you can get anything you could possibly want for your home setup. One thing I forgot to mention is that we have auto key on the beat. So that literally everything's streamlined, y'all. The whole point of the Mixed by Gabriel templates and resources is so that it makes your job easier so you can get your creative ideas out. So literally it finds the key for you for auto-tune. You just let it play. It will also tell you the tempo actually. And then once it finds it, you just go send to auto-tune. Alright? Super simple. And now all the auto-tunes have that note. That's the note of the song. Well, boom. Alright? I put a little lo-fi on your vocal, a little bit of distortion. I even give you the levels to record your vocals at. Look at that, y'all. You don't have to guess nothing. Alright? So, on the Pro Tools meter, if I can open this up. Alright, here you go, guys. So, I said record between 10 and 3. So, if you see, there's a -10 or a 10 and a 3 on the meter. That means your vocal should be in between the 10 and the 3. Not over the 3, not under the 10, between the 10 and the 3. If you get those levels, my template is going to work for you. Everything is based on if you follow my directions and rules, you know? It's a super big part of mixing, and I'm just trying to impart just simple directions so that you guys can have actually, like, basically a mix mastered, more like mastered record. That's slightly, obviously the mixing would be if you guys change the levels of things. But essentially, right when you turn on all these things on the mix bus, it's ready to go. You can just bounce it and send it to someone. Like, you're good. So it's all streamlined and set up so that you can just literally, that's why all these are off. And then if you see, song should be -8 LUFS after activating these plugins. Now, you would play it and go to this and look for 8 LUFS. Obviously, I'm just playing the beat right now, so you're not going to get 8 LUFS just with the beat, unless I turn it up a lot. So I'm just showing you what I would do to follow my own directions, right? So you just make sure that your whole song is basically, let's say around, -10 to -11 would probably give you a good place to put this on, and then just it be at the level. But ideally, -9, -8 LUFS is a good, safe place to be for a song. I don't want to tell you guys, we're not trying to do like super professional mastering. If we were, I'm sure you guys could get things a little bit louder, but it's about not crushing the dynamics too. So you got to be careful and safe, and I want you guys not to destroy your demo. So just simply read the comments, follow the directions. If you ever have questions, concerns, anything that you need, just tap in, mixedbygabriel.com, Mixed by Gabriel on all platforms. Follow me on TikTok, subscribe to the channel. I love you all. You know the vibes. Peace.